पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांस च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च च ओमाज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुभीष्टशूरकं गुरुगणैराशीषसम्भूषितं चिन्ताचिन्तसमस्तवेदनिपुणं श्रीरूपपन्थानुगं गोविन्दाभिधम् उज्ज्वलमपरतनुं भक्त्यन्वितं सुन्दरं वन्दे विश्वगुरून् च दिव्यभगवत्प्रेम्णो हि बीजप्रदं देवं दिव्यतनुं सुचन्द्रवदनं बालार्कच्छिलाञ्चितं सान्द्रानन्दपूरं सदेकवर्णं वैराग्यविद्यां बुधिं श्रीसिद्धान्तनिधिं सुभक्तिलसितं सारस्वतानां वरं वन्दे तं शुभदं मदेकशरणं नासीश्वरं श्रीधरम् श्री सिद्धांत सरस्वती विदितो गौड़ीय गुरुवन्वये भातो भानुरिव प्रभात गगने गौर संकीर्तनये मायावादतिमिंगिलोदरगतान् उद्धृत्य जीवानिमान् कृष्ण प्रेम सुधाब्दिगाहन सुखं प्रदात प्रभुं तं भजे। नमो गौरकिशोराय भक्तवधूतमूर्तये गौरांग पद्मभृंगाय राधाभावनिसेविने वंदे भक्ति विनोदम श्री गौरशक्तिस्वरूपकं भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञ सम्राजं राधारससुधानिधिं गौरवजासुताशेषैर्वैष्णवैर्वन्दविग्रहं जगन्नाथ प्रभुं वन्दे प्रेमाब्धिं विद्वैष्णवम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। नमो महावदान्नाय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। जयतां सुरतौ पङ्गौर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधामदनमोहनौ दिव्याद्वृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमाधः श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थौ श्रीगान्धार शीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालविसेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षणवेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तुनः। वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्तवत्ताय नमो नमः। अथ नत्वा मन्त्रगुरुं भागवतार्थदान् व्यासान् जगद्गुरून् नत्वा ततो जयं मुदीरयेत्। जय सपरिकर श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधार गोविंद सुंदर पाद पद्मनाम जयस्तु। जय सपरिकर श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विका गिरिधारी जू पाद पद्मनाम जयस्तु। सकल वैष्णव पदे मोर नमस्कार इथे किछु अपराध नाउ कामार ओयचेन ओइबेन प्रभु रजत भक्तजन वंदना करियामि सवार चरण। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Sashtang Dandat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas, devotees, servitors at the lotus feet of Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rakshak, Srīdhar Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj, and Om Vishnupad Vishwarena Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Welcome to our Saturday morning Goshti. We're reading Bhagavad Gītā. We're on chapter 5. Is that right, Lavanya, or 6?
6.
6. Dhyāna-yoga. So we're on Dhyāna-yoga. We will begin with our kirtan session led by Lavanya Devi Dasi, and then we will continue our reading. And we also want to welcome Sister Val, who's here accompanying Madhav Prabhu. So welcome, and henceforth I'll be addressing you not as Sister Val, but Didi, so which is the same as sister. So I told you, which means sister. So whenever you're ready, Lavanya, please.
We will start on page 74. 74. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadādhar Śrīvasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Advaita Gadādhar Śrīvasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Bando mui sabadhana te. Jahado prasade bhai e bhavatoriya jai. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hote. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hote. Prapti hoy Guru Mukh
Padma Vakya Chitte Koriya Aika Guru Vakya Chitte Koriya Arona Koriha Mane Asha Guru Charane Rati Sei Uttama Gati Shri Guru Je prasade pure sarvayasa Chakhudana dila jai janme janme Prabhu se Chakhudana dila jai janme janme Prabhu se Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito Bhaktī jaha hoite avidya vinasha jate Vede gai jahara charito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Yadhama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Jivana Ha Prabhu Karo Daya Deho More Pada Chaya Yadhama Loilo Sharana Yadhama Loilo Sharana Pade loino sharana Ami sharanila Sharanila Abhaya Śripad Pane Sharanila Amar daya karo hai Amar daya karo hai Patit pavan Shri Gurudev daya karo hai Patit pavan Shri Gurudev daya karo hai चरणे स्थान दिया दया करो है श्री चरणे सेवा दिया दया करो है अधम पतिता जने दया करो है Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev
by Sri Guru Vaishnava Mahatmya Gītī by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Jai. We'll just go to the next page. Page 76. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More Toma bina ke doyalu Jagat majhare Toma bina ke doyalu Jagat majhare Patita pavana hetu Tavaya avatara Patita pavana hetu Tavaya avatara Mosamo patita Prabhu na paibe ara Mosamo patita Prabhu na paibe ara Ha ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Ha ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kita bolo kano koro Ami bodo dukhi Kita bolo kano koro Ami bodo dukhi Daya koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai Daya Tava kripa bole pai Chaitanya Tava kripa bole pai Chaitanya Gaura prema moya tanu Pandit Gadādhara Gaura prema moya tanu Pandit Gadādhara Srinivasa Hari Dasa Daya Rasagara Srinivasa Hari Dasa Daya Rasagara Ha ha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha
सनातन रूप रघुनाथ भट्ट जुग श्रीजीवा प्रभु लोकनाथ भट्ट जुग श्रीजीवा प्रभु लोकनाथ दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास रामचंद्र संगमागे नरोत्तम दास रामचंद्र संगमागे नरोत्तम दास दया करो प्रभुपादा श्री गौर प्रकाश बोलो दया करो प्रभुपाद श्री गौर प्रकाश तब जन कृपा मागे अधम दास तब जन कृपा नरोत्तम दास हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Should we read the...
Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, kindly give your grace to me. In the whole creation, there is none as merciful as you.
You descended just to save the fallen souls. O Lord, a soul as fallen as me is nowhere to be found.
O Lord Nityananda, ever in the joy of your love, kindly give your gracious glance. I am very sad.
I don't know what.
Okay. 76, verse number 4.
Kindly give your grace, Sri Goswāmī, the Lord of Srimati Sita Thakurani. By the power of your grace, we may gain the service of Sri Nityananda Chaitanya.
The embodiment of Sri Gaura's love, Pandit Gadādhar, Srivas Pandit, Hari Das Thakur, you are the ocean of grace personified.
O my Lord, Sri Swarup Damodar, Sri Sanatana, Sri Rupa, and Sri Raghunath, Sri Raghunath Bhatta, and Sri Gopal Bhatta. O my Lord, Sri Lokanatha Goswāmī.
Please grant blessings, O Lord
Srivas
Acharya, for the company of Sri Ramachandra Chakravarti Natoman Das Das pray.
Kindly give me your grace, Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, manifestation of Sri Gaura. This fallen servant begs the mercy of your associates.
Jai. Savarna Shri Gaurapad Pad mein prarthana by Śrīla Narottam Das Thakur. Jai. Okay. We will sing one more kirtan and then we can... Page 202. तुहु दया सागर तड़ाइते प्राणी तुहु दया सागर तड़ाइते प्राणी नामयने कतुया शिखायलियानी मायाने कतुया शिखायलियानी सकल सकति देई नाम तोहारा सकल सकति देई नाम तोहारा ग्रहण रखोली नाई काल विचार ग्रहण रखोली नहीं काल विचार श्रीनाम चिंतामणि तोहारी समाना चिंतामणि तोहारी समाना विलयायोली करुणा निधान विलयायोली करुणा निधान तू दया चन परमयुदारा ऐसन परमयुदारा अतिशय मंदनाथ भाग हमारा अतिशय मंदनाथ भाग हमारा नाही जन्मालो न में अनुराग मोरा नाही जन्मालो न में अनुराग मोरा भक्ति विनोद चित्ता दुख विभोरा भक्ति विनोद चित्ता दुख विभोरा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम निताई गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल This is Shri Shikshashtakam. This is the second song, and these songs are all by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Did I unmute it? My audio?
You're like way too in now.
Can you check
Yeah.
my audio?
You're unmuted.
So before we begin with our reading of Bhagavad Gītā, yesterday was the appearance day of Gadādhar Pandit, who is one of the Panchatattva. When we say the mantra, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So he is mentioned in there. And I would just like to read, to glorify him, an excerpt from the Golden Volcano of Divine Love. That's the publication. Param Guru Maharaj is, our Grand Guru. In his words, how he is, I'm just going to repeat it. And so that'll give you some insight into what's going on and his position and a little bit, and we can discuss afterwards. So this is actually, this excerpt that I'm reading is actually from the introduction. This is Param Guru Maharaj, Śrīla Bhaktī Rakshak Srīdhar Goswāmī Maharaj. Śrīmad Bhagavatam is a vast treatise in the Sanskrit language filled with essential information, historical reference and expositions on the major schools of philosophy. In Śrīmad Bhagavatam, many minor points of history and geography are also mentioned, which, although non-essential, support its conclusions. Whatever is unnecessary in Śrīmad Bhagavatam is eliminated when its meaning reaches its purest and most intensified glory in the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if we are to consider the very gist of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, we must study the life and precepts of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just as the teachings of the great author of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Srila Vyasadeva, were percolated by the realizations of Shukdev Goswāmī, the essence of Śrīmad Bhagavatam has been percolated by the life and precepts of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, because the teachings of Śrīmad Mahaprabhu represent the gist of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, I would like to include here one of the verses I originally composed to introduce my summary study. It glorifies the position of Gadādhar Pandit, the most intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gadādhar Pandit used to read Śrīmad Bhagavatam in Jagannath Puri at the Tota Gopinath temple. He would read, and Śrīmad Mahaprabhu and the great devotees like Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai were his audience. Nilambodhi tate sada svavirahakshe panvitam bandhavam Śrīmad Bhagavati Katha Madiraya Sanjivayana Bhatiya Śrīmad Bhagavatam Sada Svanayanash Payana Pujayan Goswāmī Pravaro Gadādhar Vibhura Bhuyad Madeka Gati. On the shore of the broad blue ocean, Gadādhar Pandit used to read Śrīmad Bhagavatam to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was suffering from the great internal pain of separation from himself. Within parenthesis, Krishna. Gadādhar Pandit supplied the wine of Krishna Lila to intoxicate his afflicted friend and give him relief. As he read, tears would fall from his eyes like flower offerings onto the pages of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. May the pleasure of that brilliant personality, Gadādhar Pandit, the best of the Goswāmīs, be my only object in writing this book. The title of this book is The Golden Volcano of Divine Love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt a great pain of separation from Krishna, which burned like fire and was expressed as the Shikshashtakam. This is explained in Premadhama Deva Stotram. So, as we read, so Val Didi, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually Krishna himself. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he has come in complete forgetfulness of himself. By his own Leela, in his own Leela, he has forgotten himself. And he is searching for himself. And in the mood of his highest servitor, who is Srimati Radharani. So I was telling you about the supreme predominated moiety. So of the
Morti, I think you need
half, that's the half. I said moiety means half. So supreme predominating moiety, that is Krishna in the center. And the supreme predominated moiety is Srimati Radharani on his left. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's on the right, he is Krishna himself, but he came with the mood, it's called bhav, of Srimati Radharani, searching for himself. So he forgot himself, and then he wanted to taste what she feels, what is her happiness, what is her feelings internally, what does she feel, the satisfaction, what is it that she feels. So in order to taste that, he took the bhav and kanti of the supreme predominated moiety and invented himself as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now the supreme predominated moiety is Gadādhar Pandit, but he is without his mood. So he is like an empty shell, always looking toward Mahaprabhu to kind of retrieve his treasure. He's been robbed. So that was his mood in this entire Leela. Again, there's more, but
the term Leela means
pastime,
various activities, adventures
of the Supreme and his entourage and his associates as they play. It's not how conditioned souls like myself and everyone else, we come here out of constitutional necessity, out of our karmic bondage. But that is not the case with divinity, with the Supreme. He comes for internal and external reasons other than any kind of bondage. So because he is in his Ishwar aspect, is the ultimate controller of everything. So what controls us actually reports to him. And that energy reports to him as a servitor. So he can't be controlled. So he is like that. He's above all of that. So when he appears in front of us, as he did 500 years back with his associates, it confounds the conditioned soul. They cannot recognize, they cannot tell. So it requires deeper vision to be able to see, because they play as ordinary people. That's why when we refer to any kind of movement or any kind of play by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Dev and his associates, then we say Leela. So he went there and he did this and they did this, but that's Leela. That's not, ordinary conditioned movement. So he's always like that, and I just wanted to, kind of glorify him a little bit. I wasn't sure. Mahārāj may have done that, but I just wanted to do it from our side. It's really important for us. Sharanagiri Dandavad. Hare Krishna. I just read from the Golden Volcano's introduction, just to glorify Gadādhar Pandit. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I just wanted to read one more if you allow me, because this is just so nectarean. This is Param Guru Maharaj. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us that separation is the highest principle in divinity. Just as the most intense conception of ecstasy's association with Krishna, the most intense conception of pain is a separation from Krishna. Yet the pain felt from Krishna's separation is far more intense than the ecstasy felt from his association. Srimad Mahaprabhu says, can't you understand the painful situation you are in? Your senses must have all been destroyed, otherwise you would have died from the pain of separation from Krishna. It is inconceivable. We belong to him wholesale. He is all in all to us, but we can't see him. We are forcibly separated from him. How can we tolerate this? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur once said, I can't tolerate separation from Krishna any longer. I can go on for only 3 or 4 more days, and then I shall have to leave this body. To love Krishna means that we have to die to live. In the beginning, divine love seems like lava, death, but really it is nectar, life. Many persons in this ordinary world are also frustrated in love. They sometimes go mad and commit suicide because they can't tolerate the pain. But the pain which comes with separation from Krishna, although compared with lava, is not quite injurious like lava. Kaviraj Goswāmī explains, Bahe bishe jwala haya, bhitare anandamaya, Krishna premara adbhuta charita. the wonderful characteristic of divine love of Krishna is that although externally it works like fiery lava, internally it is like sweet nectar that fills the heart with the greatest joy. So outside it may appear as like torment, but internally it is the most satisfying. It is the most intense. Although he felt the greatest pain of separation from Krishna, still within his heart, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced the deepest ecstatic joy. The ecstatic symptoms manifested by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have never been found in the history of the world or even expressed in any scripture. In him we find the highest conception of the ultimate reality. This is explained in my Premadhama Deva Stotram. Atma Siddha Savalila Purna Soquel Lakshanam Swanubhava Matta Nitya Kirtanatma Vantanam Advayeka Laksha Purna Tattva Tatparat Param Premadham Devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram. This is the all-conquering conclusion. The highest conception of the ultimate reality must also be the highest form of ananda, ecstasy. Does that make sense? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, ecstasy himself, tasting his own sweetness and dancing in ecstatic joy. His own holy name is the cause of his ecstasy, expressed as dancing, and the holy name is the effect of his ecstasy, expressed as chanting. The cause is the effect. The dynamo is creating ecstatic energy which makes him dance, and his chanting distributes that ecstasy to others. Hare Krishna. I just read a little bit more just to cover it because it's so beautiful. But so that is our little offering to the advent of Gadādhar Pandit. Yes, Didi?
Prabhu, you mentioned so much, but one line gets said quite frequently, but sometimes I see people misunderstand its meaning, and I want you to explain it a little deeper. Die to live.
Yeah.
What does that mean in our practical application in our daily life?
It means death of the false ego. False ego means so long as we harbor separate interest, we have the ill effects of that disconnect from the center. So functionally what that means is right now we are self-centered. Our day-to-day transactions, feelings, thoughts, words, deeds, everything is around us. No matter how much we try to escape that, but that's what it is. We are self-centered. And that is the disease. And to be center-centered is the solution. But for that, one must die as we exist with that separate interest, which means the false ego must be dissolved wholesale. So the real ego, which is the center-centered ego, then comes up. And we live for the center. So we die our self-centered conception of life as we live, to live for the center. That's what that means functionally. I don't know how much it meant, but that's what it means to me. And it may evolve as we go, but completely emptying ourselves of all separate desires, all separate interests, everything, and invite the center. So we live happily, selflessly. That is the ultimate selflessness. There are various gradations of being selfless. Various yogis, we are going to read Dhyāna-yoga, so they become selfless. They achieve a high level of selflessness. But this is the ultimate selfless, where there is no me. Literally, we live for the center. So that is our ideal. That is what that aphorism that Sharanagi Didi said means, die to live. So death of the false ego, so that we can live selflessly in service and surrender.
And that's a long process. It's not something we do overnight.
Well,
And it's also, it's like if you're coming to this without a deeper understanding of how beautiful our Lord is, how kind and affectionate, He wants us more than we want Him. And He's willing to go 10 times further than every step we make. It's like just understanding that if you love somebody, you sacrifice yourself for that person. You know, you want them to be happy, so you're going to go the extra mile, make that extra preparation, or buy that extra thing, or make it extra clean, whatever, you know, because you love them, and so you give of yourself to them. And that's the goal, is we want to have that relationship with the Lord. And so that's center-centered. The center is the Lord, who's the kindest, most beautiful, kind, loving, affectionate person there is. But we need to practice surrendering our ego and learn about Him, learn more. And in our daily life, as all those challenges come and our egos are inflamed for one reason or another, and that's daily, then we have to put that into practice. I remember having Die to Live kind of written on the wall above the light switch, so I saw it every day. You know, it's important.
Yes, it is. And
it's important to be gentle with yourself. It takes time.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
We're learning, so being together is key, which means association of like-minded personalities. Everyone is at different levels. We don't know, like Sister Val came, like you maybe from your previous births, maybe at something and at some level, and it may just come up, because nothing is an accident, like, you know, you coming in touch with Madhav Prabhu and then slowly coming to the temple to have association, to hear some words of Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, and, you know, look at Bhagavad Gītā. That is not ordinary. So we need to have finer vision like that. Respect everyone like that. See everything through the center and not from a personal perspective. That vision, and that's the development that we're striving for. We're endeavoring to get to that. Whatever our capacity is not that great, so we rely mostly on grace, So that's why it's so important. And with Mahaprabhu and his associates, that is ultimately what it is the descending grace. So between all the inauspiciousness and all the faults and how fallen I may be and perfection, when grace makes that up, that is love. That is divine love. I may think I'm making some sacrifice. I may think but factually it really amounts to minuscule, maybe little here, little there. But when that grace descends, that is divine love. And that touches us in one way or another. That's why everyone is so attracted to the conception of Mahaprabhu. It is the conception that is attractive. So that is our hope, and that is all beauty, all charm, all ecstasy, all personal. So there are conceptions of worship. So in English there's worship, but then if you look at, there can be puja, there can be archana, and there can be aradhana. So again, some sort of gradation in intensity and self-giving. So in the highest form, it's like a spontaneous heart-to-heart flow, back and forth. That is called aradhana. So aradhyo bhagavan vrajeshu tanayas. So that's specific word that is used. So aradhana. That is that intense connection of love divine from the center to everyone. And we have to find that. We have to get to that. That just reminds me how Mahaprabhu just did not like how Advaita Acharya, when he sent him that poem that amounted to saying that time to wrap up your activities. He didn't like that. And he compared that to people who, it's a formal kind of worship where they invite the deity and they, with this thing like, please come fulfill our desires, be around for some time, and then we'll send you off. So those who do, the Durga Puja and others.
And the next day she's face down in the pool.
And then there is a prayer also that they say, which I used to say. It says, Avahanam na janami visarjanam yad pujitam paripurnam tadastu me. And at that time, it appeared fantastic to me, like, wow, this is so high, Avahanam na janami, I don't know how to invite you properly, and I don't know how to send you off properly either. But still, I try to do my best. It's like, what level is that? You're inviting your most intimate, well-wishing friend, and then sending him off. What kind of worship is that? So that's what he compared it to. He goes, he's sending me this poem and this verse, but that's what it amounts to. Those kind of people. So anyway, I just came to, because our conception is not like that. We don't like to do that. So anyway. And no offense to anyone. I mean, everyone has their conception, and yeah. So at whichever point one is, if you try to, and if they're fixed up, and if you try to give them something higher, then it may not be appropriate for them at that time. They may not understand. So that's why it's always, everything is gradation, Even Bhagavad Gītā, one way, there's so many commentaries and so many understandings, levels of understandings of the verses, of the message. So it depends on the evolutionary stage of consciousness that one is, that one can grasp or one can understand or conceive of. There are certain things one cannot conceive of, and if all of it is given, then it may cause indigestion. So it's step by step by step. And so like that, that's how divinity reveals himself to us in that way. And whoever can grasp it to whatever extent, then that happens.
Can't teach calculus to a kindergartner. Remember Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in one of his writings, I wish I had a copy. I lost my copy, but it was an article he wrote, and in it he said, "We're all brothers in faith except the atheists." So we're all brothers in faith except the atheists. So not to disturb someone else's path.
Yeah.
Everybody's moving at their own progression, and it will be revealed to them their next step according to their sincerity.
According to sincerity and development. And then they're supposed to internally see what is best for them and be there. So nothing is forced, there's no coercion.
But we can be happy that someone else has faith.
That's to be
encouraged, not judged. No, but I mean, sincere faith will help them progress.
That's a very high thing, So everything can be, functionally everything can be, we can engage all our senses and everything in the service other than envy. We need to lose envy. Wholesale. So that envy part, what Shranangi Didi just said, is only possible if one is non-envious. Then one can appreciate. One can have competitive spirit, one can have, all that is good, but not envy. That's the only thing functionally that holds us back. So we have to work on that. And there's help in that account too, because some things can be chipped away, but others we're just told that just take a hammer or take a sword and just, that's it. So, yep, so like that. Any other thoughts, Didi? So you should do chapter 6. Dhyāna-yoga. The path of meditation. Chapter 6. Let's read till 5 and then discuss, and then we'll keep going like that. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karotya sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na nirgnir na chakriya yam sannyasam iti prahur yogam tam vidhi pandava na haya sannyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana Arurukshora munera yogam karma karanam uchyate yoga rudhasya tasaiva samakaranam uchyate yada hinendriyartheshu na karmasva anusajjate sarva sankalpa sannasi yoga rudhastadochyate Uddhared atmatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiv hayatmano bandhur atmaiv ripuratmano. Okay. Would you like to?
The Supreme Lord said, know a genuine sannyasi and yogi as one who, without expectation of the fruits of his actions, performs his duties as prescribed by the scriptures. One is not a sannyasi merely by renouncing the performance of the fire sacrifice and other prescribed duties. And one is not a yogi merely by becoming physically inactive.
Madhaprabhu, would you like to read?
Okay, sure. Arjuna, that which is known as sannyasa, complete renunciation, you should know to be a yoga, since without renunciation, fruitive desires, no one can be a yogi. Now, fruitive desires. Then number 5, 3.
3.
For the yoga practitioner desirous of 18 steady yoga meditation, action is said to be the means. When has archaic yoga meditation, renunciation for all actions is said to be the means of remaining in meditation.
Whether the yoga practitioner does not become attached to the objects of the senses and to any action in pursuit or their enjoyment, and renounces all thoughts of enjoyment, then he is said to have obtained to yoga.
One must elevate himself by the mind, not degrade himself by the mind. For the mind is sometimes the friend of the living being, and in other situations that very mind is the enemy.
So that is the key. Key thing is that the exploitative spirit enjoyment, that is enjoyment. Exploitative spirit and the spirit of abject or you can say dry renunciation is actually opposing the true flow of truth. So the plane of exploitation and the plane of renunciation actually are not recommended. To enter the plane of dedication. So again, it's a gradation in here. It seems he's explaining attains yoga, one who has done away with this, done away with that. Yes, that's important, but then there has to be that positive of, okay, what must I dedicate myself to? If that part is missing, then there is still progress to be made. That's why one of the key verses that he gives is, which is Swami Maharaj used to again and again stress, that is the perfection of yoga. That whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you consume or eat, whatever it is that you give away in charity, whatever tapas or austerity that you undertake, you do it for me. In specific, for Krishna. So he says that. And that is the perfection. Yad karosi, yad ashnasi, yad juhosi, dadasi, yad tapasyasi konte, tad kurushva mad arpanam. That is the best. That is the highest. And then Gurudev gave those two verses that Śrīla Govinda Maharaj, that this is how the gradation works. He starts with tapasvi bhayo dhiko yogi, jnani bhayo pimato dhiko, karmi bhayascha dhiko yogi, tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. So tapasvi, jnani, karmi, of all of this, in this gradation, be a yogi. Yogi is the finest of all of this. And then yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mata. That yogi who has me as the center of all his endeavors, he is the highest within the yogis. So karma yogi, jnana yogi, dhyana yogi, of all of them, who is the perfect? Madgatena antaratmana. And he leaves it as, this is my opinion. Oh Arjuna, this is my opinion. That ultimately, you have to still choose. He's not going to choose for you. From his side, he is revealing that he wants to see what your choice is. That little, I don't have that much like movement in there. I can choose this or that way, but that doesn't ultimately make any much difference. But from his side, that is important. What do you choose? These are my recommendations. This is my opinion. So he will always, that is his modus operandi in his dialogue. This is a dialogue. These are not commandments. There's a difference. Like, thou shalt do this. He doesn't say that. He's like, well, this is what I've put out. What do you think? Now you make that choice. Now all this yoga, dhyan of intricately kshetragya, he describes us being in this system of the sensual apparatus with mind, intelligence, ego at our disposal. All of these things that we have, this system that we have as a field. Kshetragya literally means field. So, and once all of this is successful, when you come back, you are the kshetragya. You are the knower of that field, or you're rather supposed to be the knower of that field. And how you engage in that entire field, which is a system of infinite possibilities simultaneously existing. What do you choose? That defines who you are. And at the same time, knowing that all of it is for my best. All waves are favorable. Infinite possibilities. Infinite permutations and combinations. Infinite outcomes. That is Kshetra. How will you engage in that? All of this information is for that purpose. So this is not pedantic. This is not just like, okay, laid out over there. It sounds fancy. We're supposed to put it to use. Quantum mechanics. But that is what it amounts to. And our mind is really powerful, but and it's really difficult to control it, but it is not impossible. How he's saying it, you read carefully. You don't have to like try to enslave it, because that will never happen. He says, make it your friend. Otherwise, it will always land one in trouble. Always. There's no getting around that one. You have to make your mind your friend. In fact,
told us sometimes to beat your mind with a shoe.
that's required. That's required, but still by that beating, one has to make it a friend. Yeah.
Isn't that where engaging the mind in service comes into play?
Jai.
That's
Exactly.
the shoe.
Hare Krishna.
It's like with the idea, it's better to be a sincere street sweeper of the street than a charlatan meditator.
Jai. Well said. That is exactly what that means. So one has to be, by beating one's mind with the shoe, is to, all the false ego that puts so much focus, like, look how good you are, what kinds of achievements you have, and you're almost God, Those things have to be cleared out. Like, no. Get real.
Deserving you are.
How deserving you are. And people should do this and they're not doing it. That's their problem. And I am going to chase them, and I'm going to make sure that they know who I am.
I will instruct them.
I will make sure that each and everyone knows who I am. That is the dictate of the false ego. And the mind is like, yes, I'm king of my skull-sized kingdom. Who said that? I forget. Someone said that. That was perfect. I'm the king of my skull-sized kingdom.
It might have been.
How dare you challenge me? Krishnananda?
I think it might have been.
Krishnananda? I think it was Krishnananda Prabhu. That was wonderful, spontaneous. But so we have to be real. And when we're in association, good association, there will always be, that will always be easy to do or manageable, because, well-wishers tell you like, no, hey, this is this, this is this. And so that's how you get that reality check.
That's it right there.
So we can, any other comments or any other reflections, then we can do the next 5 verses, I guess.
That quote is from a commencement speech.
Really?
David Foster Wallace, I don't know who that is. Master of my skull-sized kingdom.
Wow. Did they get it from Krishnananda also?
I think Goswāmī is the one that started.
Oh, he said that? Goswāmī Maharaj,
I've
Jai.
heard it from him a few times.
Jai. Hari Bol.
He's very well read, so.
Of course. But that is so apt.
Yeah.
That's why. I'm just giving like who I heard it from, I don't know where he got it from. But that's so we can do 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Where's the verse? I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, yeah, you found it.
Number 6. We can chant together.
6 through
10.
10. Okay.
You need a book, Prabhu? बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनैवात्मात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुवत्ते वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत् जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रिय युक्तित्युच्यते योगी समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चन सुहृन्मृत्यार्युदासीन मध्यस्थादेशु बन्धुषु सादृशेषु पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते योगी युञ्जित सततम् आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः एकाकी यत चित्तात्मा निराशीरपरिग्रहः सुहृन्मृत्यार्युदासीनं मध्यस्थदेशबन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते. Okay, we can start with Sharnangi Didi this time.
6.
Yeah. Yes, please.
For one who has conquered the mind, his mind is his friend. For one unable to control the mind, his mind works against him like an enemy.
The yogi who has conquered the mind remains deeply absorbed in yogi trance, peaceful and undisturbed by cold and heat, happiness and unhappiness, or honor or dishonor.
Lavanya.
one who is always satisfied within by both knowledge and realization, who is always fixed in his spiritual nature, who is sense-controlled, and who has the vision of equality for a clod of earth, a rock, or gold. It is said that such a person has attained yoga.
Samalosh Ashma Kanchana. Such an eminent yogi has the vision of equality towards a well-wisher, a friend, an enemy, an indifferent person, a mediator, a hateful person, a relative, a saint, and a sinner.
The yogi should constantly concentrate his mind by remaining alone in a solitary place, his mind and body controlled, free from desire and acquisition.
Not very American of you.
So, but then it says remaining in a solitary place, and but what do we rely on?
Taken?
Association.
Okay, what do we rely on? I'm just for this kind of. I mean, we're not like saying, well, we want to elevate like this, or but what do we rely on for going deeper and like that? We rely on the holy name, our chanting of the holy name.
And the solitary place is 4 a.m.
That's, but any time, any place.
Any question, of course.
And is that like a real benediction or not? Like no restrictions on anything, just chant all the time.
Especially when you look at previous
Yeah.
things, so this direction at this time of day.
He'll tell us, like kusha grass and not too high, not too low, controlling this.
Perfectly pronounced.
And then your, the breathing, and then how many people will be able to do that?
No one today.
I'm no one to say that no one can do that, but just my little vision, it's really, really difficult to just have all of those like associated parameters kind of all measured up. It's almost like an impossible task to separately do, and then not knowing the ultimate perfection of getting all of that. Like someone who has attained, he's indifferent towards enemy, this sinner, but then what is their engagement is not apparent. It's not really clear even at this high level where they've transcended the mind. This is like they're literally out of their mind.
Mm-hmm. They have to be, I think, dirt, clod, and gold are the same.
Some of those Ashma Kanchana, all they see the substance. But then what is their situation, what is their engagement is not, they're just absorbed in Advaya Gyan. Okay. But again, where is that positive engagement? Where's the movement?
No, it's a collection.
Huh?
They're collecting when they're jhana.
It seems like a lot of it's a quest for relief from suffering. A lot of it to stop. I just want to be at peace. But they don't think, well, what happens when you're at peace? What do you do?
Even the yogis, the perfection is given, like you see the Lord in their hearts, the yogis. So that's a different vision. In Bhagavatam it says, Dhyāna-avastita tadgatena manasa paśyanti yam yogino yasyantangana vidu surasurgana devaya tasmai nama. They see within their heart, look, proper form, but that is, what does that do to the yogi is my question. Like, how does it engage him? Versus another higher, deeper, finer than the finest vision is Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achinta guna sarupam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. That is the highest way. That is the perfection of actually seeing him as Shama Sundara.
Translation?
Premanjana churita, when one is inundated with love, divine love, then what they see is Shama Sundara as he is in Vrindavan. Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Guna Sarupam. That is Govinda. Not this Dhyāna-avastita tadagati, although the beautiful verse, Dhyāna-avastita tadagati namanasa paśyantyam yogino yasyantam navidu surasurgana devaya tasmai nama. But that is not Shama Sundar. So the various ways of reaching that finest and finer than the finest. Then there is engagement, then there is movement, then there is inspiration, then there is, sweetness, beauty, charm, then.
Well, Prabhu, in verse 9, it's kind of a tricky one to, that's a very difficult thing to apply to your life. To equality towards a well-wisher, a friend, an enemy, and a different person, a mediator, a hateful person, a relative, a saint, and a sinner. How do we apply that?
Functionally, it's almost impossible. I agree with you. And there's a reason,
Impossible.
So there's a reason why it's given like that. It's to make us think and go deeper.
You can help yourself by going to the part that says the yogi who is established in yoga see Krishna at the heart of every living entity. So there are formulas that point toward the aspiration of getting into and connect to those highest forms, living of perfection.
Here it's more or less left to the choice of the person. So that's your vision, and that's good because you're seeing the positivity in it. But
Hard to put into practice, though.
yeah.
Isn't that the fruit of self-realization, though?
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that you can artificially achieve?
Cannot.
No, cannot.
That's at a higher level than. So let's say for me it's impossible. How can? It's not possible. And in my position, it may be right. But then it's like giving that advaya, that non-dual vision, like Pandita Samadarshana, one who sees the dog eater, the cow, he sees them with equal vision. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini suniche cha shapake cha pandita samadarshina. This is Samadarshi. This is a further example of what Samadarshi is. Samadarshi means that vision of equanimity. Because when one sees that Advaya substance, he sees in all. Every entity, and in a higher, deeper vision, even the non-living has that. Here, the examples are of living. Do you notice? But his Samalosha Ashma Kanchana, they are not living. So, when you complete it, then everywhere.
I think it's also the part of the negativeness and the positiveness. It's not only a third parcel that can be neutral.
Is that one verse that you're referring to?
I refer to any of the practices that we can go into positive or negative, but it's a third possibility. Let's say I can be neutral. Means don't take sides, stay equiposed and see the possibility giving back to the Lord. It is not really accept to me, even though I use in the practicality of this negativity, positivity, and neutral as an expansion of my possibility. And regardless with something like the impossible things that we seem to be reading right now.
It's almost like you have to see the Lord's hand in everything.
Yes.
Otherwise, you won't be able to conceive of, like I said, the infinite possibilities, like he's saying. How would you consider them favorable unless
we can just get stuck into the impossibility and lose the fluidity and the dynamics of the currency of Krishna coming, the mercy and the grace and the glory of Gurudev, all the things that paraphernalias that we have to support our shortcoming, our impossibilities, our ego, all those things. I have to hang myself into something. I have to keep having a little hope that I can get some progress somehow.
Yeah.
Other
That's
than
good.
that, what is the it's like
No, it's all hope. It's all hopeful.
But that it's so beautiful to think, to see the Lord in everything and everyone. But it's also very difficult to be equipoised if someone's coming at you with violence and someone's got you a nice rascula or something, Either or, it's difficult. But then if you take it to that step of the Lord's hands behind this, what does he want from me in this situation? What is my role, Could be to step aside or protect someone else or, it's all individual. Every situation is orchestrated by him for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
What is that purpose? What is the adjustment in me that needs to be made? Why am I put in this situation? What changes within me so I can grow? And how do I see his hand in this? That's
Like Guru Maharaj, sorry.
it seems to be the situation keep repeating until you transcend that situation. The things coming in front of us over and over and over, and we keep hitting the same wall until one day you say, okay, I give up. And then think that you are right, and there is a new one coming. And it keeps coming and coming.
yeah.
Guru Maharaj said, like Bhagavad Gītā, the message, and like Swarnangi Didi is also saying, if Sri Uddhava had received this message, he would have paid his dandavats on the battlefield to Lord Krishna and just have walked off. He wouldn't have fought. So that Kshetrajna is as important as the Kshetra, to engage, and that's what makes it even more beautiful. Like how from the sight of Krishna, from divinity's perspective, if all were to do the same thing, all were to make that same choice, all were to go through the same set of permutations and combinations, where would be vilas? There would be no movement. Vilas means this, variety. It means, that variety of movement. Huh? Then
there is also the pakso that support those movements.
And that is taste. From that comes taste. One becomes appreciative of that. And complete appreciation of that is maximum taste. Complete appreciation of all kinds of movements. Then in that case, this will be okay, but not before. It's all for his pleasure. And by dint of the connection, then there is reciprocation. So it's all good. Everything calculated from the center. We're trying to see, like, how will it be possible for me, but being self-centered. Not possible. Even at Advaya, people have come down. Some yogis in deep meditation, hear some bells, ankle bells, and they're engaged. Their senses are engaged.
I remember those.
Their senses are engaged again. So that can happen. But from where it cannot come back is when you're entirely center-centered. Then there is no way. Because everything is for the center. Yeah. And those ankle bells, they're for the center.
That's Dhyāna-yoga.
We have to. That's the only way to. And that is such a good way, and we have so much help. And then Gurudev clearly again and again told us that Tranadapi Sunichena Taroriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. That is the only way. And that is. Even the equanimity that we're reading about, it says Vidya Binaya Sampanne. Vidya, someone who is learned, who has kind of reached that non-duality, sort of conclusive level of knowledge, they, by dint of that, they will be humble. Humility. Humility cannot be present when there is a spirit of enjoyment.
Then what kind of enjoyment can be refers? And the enjoyment of the soul, it is a chitananda, and the celebration of realizing such a beautiful domain, like celebrating in the enjoyment of throwing flowers to Gurudev.
No, enjoyment is the enjoyment. You need to see is the exploitative tendency. Anything that has exploitative tendency is enjoyment in what is explained. So that exploitative tendency is to do with the self-centered ego. Self-centered ego always will have that enjoying spirit, but enjoying exploitatively. Being, meaning I'm the subject and everything is objects for me to take and enjoy separately. Disconnected from the center, that is enjoyment.
So one of the things that we do when we come to the temple in front of the deity is the deities come to see us. That's a form of surrender and enjoyment when I can be able to receive the expression of the deity sitting in the temple. That cannot be considered an enjoyment.
Well, if you're center-centered, then you will present yourself rather than the other way around. Like, let me make that an object of my observation. So there has to be an actual factual change. Then it will be authentic. That's all I'm saying. Then it will be authentic. But no, there's no enjoyment at soul service.
Yeah, I like those things when the way refers to Krishna consciousness or reading the scripture to get into the flexibility in the expansion of the possibility in what the thing that we're referring, not just black and white. And so definitely you're guilty, you're a bad person, you this, it's like, come on, give me a little break somehow, somewhere, a little pat in the shoulder, because man, it isn't easy.
All you have to tell them is, I'm Adi. Just look them in the eye and tell them, don't mess with me, I'm Adi.
Don't look it up.
So
I do.
But that's it. That's it. Make friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Give honor to everyone.
Yeah.
And chant the holy name. You have Krishna as your friend. Get closer to him. Guru Gauranga is all looking after you. If you have that, then you will be able to satisfy all creation. Look at it that way. Sometimes when I'm like that, I look at it that way. Like, I need to satisfy them. Then it is said like when you have to, so you have a big tree, and if you have to evenly distribute nutrition or water to all the different, the leaves, the different branches, the trunk, it's like, impossible. So you put water at the root, then that will satisfy. So that is it. So when we come together and we glorify the center, so that means all inclusive, all satisfied. Krishna, when they were in the forest, the Pandavas, you remember? Then when Durvasa and his army of people, they came, hey, to Draupadi, and Draupadi had washed all her Akshay Patra, and put it, so she was done cooking, everyone had had their meal. And he said, me and, I don't know, 10,000 of we're coming, just prepare something for us. We need to be fed. And it's Durvasa. So Durvasa is like on wheels. So she was like distraught. She was like, what do I do now? I've washed she had that pot, but it was all washed and done, so she couldn't cook anymore. So then she prayed to Krishna, he came. And what does he say? Hey, Draupadi, I'm hungry. She goes, well, that was the reason why I prayed for you to come. He's like, well, get me that, that little pot of yours. And she's like, there's nothing in there. I just washed it. He goes, just go get it. And she got it. And he reached in there and there was one like grain of rice. He put it in his thing. He goes, I'm satisfied. And at that very moment, that army of, those Durvasa and his army were bathing, and they suddenly felt like, we gotta go. And she's preparing a lot of like sumptuous dishes, and that will dishonor her because I'm totally satisfied. They go, run, let's go. So they all ran away. So while that one little, grain of rice, he says, I'm satisfied. All satisfied. They were well fed. And then they all ran away. They're like, we're not going back there. Because,
They were afraid.
they were afraid to actually,
Draupadi's wrath.
yeah, that she's going to get angry. So Durvasa felt like, I'm going to anger her now. Because she'll be like, you told me and I prepared all of this and now you're saying I'm going to have nothing? So he's like, well, let's not just go there. Let's just run. So they all ran away. So that's... that gives you... Daru Brahma Didi ki Jai! Jai Gurudev. Didi, we're honored.
I'm honored.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So many today. How nice.
Hare Krishna. Well, we always remember fondly of Pushta Krishna Prabhu.
Bye.
So that's the position of Krishna. He's at, he's everything comes from him. Everything emanates from him. You satisfy him, all is satisfied. And that is the essence of kirtan that we perform. We come together, we glorify the center, we try to glorify their lordships. By that, everything is glorified. We don't have to go to other devas or other entities or this or that. They're all satisfied. That is why Saraswati Thakur says, Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what it means. He is it all. And his loving ecstatic potency is Srimati Radharani. So she is the supreme predominated moiety. And together they are the complete. So our worship is like that. Our worship is not just like Krishna. When we say Krishna, it is implicit that Srimati Radharani is with him. That's how we see him. Without her, we have no conception. She shows it to us. She shows him. So that potency descends to worship him, so we know how to worship him. Otherwise, even that is, the Vedas don't tell us. This worship, the Srimad Mahaprabhu's line is, it is not like illuminated in the Vedas as such. Any kant, any aspect of the Vedas, it is not. The Vedas deal with the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tama. So even someone who is Vedvit, what are they doing? Traygunya Vishaya Veda. But then he's asking Nistraygunya Bhavarjuna. You don't worry about the three gunas of the Vedas. You stand above that. In the plane of dedication, you find that soil. That's how the highest and the most intimate connection is. So these stages, they're worshipable. That the Dhyāna yogis, they're reaching such stages and they're purifying themselves to the extent of being able to identify, isolate all their different principles within their system of the senses, the mind, the intelligence, the pranic flow, the subtle airs, the energy centers. They're able to identify all of that. They're able to achieve that level of subtle position. But even so, only complete when everything is done for him and his pleasure. Only then. That is the perfection. Swami Maharaj used to say that again and again. There is the perfection of yoga. This is the perfection of, and I used to why does he keep saying that? Perfection. Someone who has achieved, that equanimity, that level of elevation, they're perfect. Bhagavad Gītā says that. But then you add that and you see it in proper perspective, then yes, without connection, without being center-centered, then all that elevation has something amiss. Something more that needs to be done in there. Some grace needs to flow toward you to lift you up to that level. Because you cannot, by your abilities or my ability, achieve that. That's why it is said Krishna is unknowable. Because ability is that suffix in there. He will make himself known. His potency will make him known, but not otherwise. Not by my ability. I may be whoever, but I will never be able to reach even his toenails by my mental speculation. That is Krishna. So only by surrender, by honoring everyone, by humility, those are key things for practice as we go forward. To always stick together. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. We always stick together. We always hear each other. And with that kind of support, and with the Vaishnavas blessing us, with our gurus taking care of us, we have to believe that. Then all waves are favorable. All waves are favorable. It may come to me as chastisement, it may come to me as some praise. Equal. How about that level of equanimity? Actually, that is not peaceful equanimity. That is enjoyable. That enjoyment is ecstasy. So that pain of separation is outward, but inward is the highest enjoyment, if you want to use that word. Vipralamba. So Mahaprabhu is coming in forgetfulness of himself. He's Krishna himself and he forgets he's Krishna. Because he wants to taste Srimati Radha's mood. And he's searching for himself. So, Atmanusandhan, looking for the self, level 1. Krishna Anusandhan, looking for, search for reality, the beautiful. And Krishna se Atmanusandhan, Krishna searching for himself, that is Mahaprabhu. That is his Leela. All Madhurya, every movement, everything in that is all sweet, sweet, sweeter than sweet. Enjoyable.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Jai is right.
Hare Krishna. So pause here. So, I want to speak with Daru Brahma Didi also. I've seen her after a long time. And
See her too.
I'm here.
Sister Val Didi, you're welcome and hope you liked and enjoyed and bless us and stick around. They're like beautiful Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis.
Oh, I'm driving her.
There's no choice.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद श्रीला भक्ति सुंदर गोविंद देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय जय श्रीला भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद विश्वरण्य श्रीला एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय जय सपरिकर श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विक गिरिधारी जो की जय जय श्री चैतन्य सारस्वत मठ आचार्य वृंद की जय वैष्णव वृंद की जय सेवा वृंद की जय all the worldwide devotees ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Please pardon my offenses. Jai Gurudev.
Very nice outfit. Very nice.